which one's metaphysical and which one's New York school?
I don't got no paper.
We handed them out.
Sassy.
Very mean, Steve.
What?
I'm telling my mom.
Go ahead.
Ooh, sassy.
Oh, I thought you said Cassie. I was like,
Ooh, what? Cassie. Sassy Cassie. Chatty Patty.
it's so fast.
If it's not yours, then it's not mine. You don't touch it. You knew it was foul. Damn it. Stop nagging.
Are y'all done with that?
Yes.
Would anyone like to share?
I say that the school movement
Okay. Anyone else?
I said that Go and Catch Falling Star was the New York school movement, and that the day Lady died was metaphysical.
Okay. Anyone? Marihan?
I said the day Lady died is in New York because I saw the lady.
Okay. Anyone else?
True.
Okay. Well, Go and Catch a Falling Star is part of the metaphysical movement, and The Day Lady Died is actually part of the New York school. So, for those who got it right, congratulations. And can we have our next slide, please? We're going to start off with the New York school. I'm going to talk about them.
They were established in the 1960s. Usually they base all their poetry on artwork. And this is one of the artwork. It's called Sardines. And one of our poems is actually about that painting. And they were based on surrealism and modernism. And they were based on abstract expressionist art. They had a strong personal and artistic connection with the artists and their artwork that we talked about the paintings about.
And many of them actually either worked in the Museum of Modern Art, or they were art critics for a newspaper. And they had, yeah, like Kylie said, they had a lot of personal connections with a lot of artists like Jackson Pollock and some other guy. But there were two generations of them, and their main leader was Frank O'Hara. Any questions?
I have to admit, I'm kind of drawn to that art. I don't know why.
Dude, surrealism is
Do they have the poem that's based off of?
It's their closing.
Remind me to put that back up, though, so I can see the connection.
Okay. Just take some time to wrap it up here. We're gonna move on in like a few seconds. Moving on to the metaphysical movement. And Whitney's going to talk about that.
Slow.
The metaphysical movement was established in the 17th century.
I can't hear you.
The metaphysical movement was established in the 17th century. It's very different from all the other poetry in the time period because of the natural spiritual subject.
They lived in a very politically and religiously oppressive time, so a lot of their poetry, some of them couldn't even be published because if it were to be published, they'd be executed or be imprisoned for life because of their stuff. John Donne was actually, I'm pretty sure the only reason he wasn't executed was because he worked for the Queen during this time, and a lot of his stuff was very sexual in nature, and it spoke frankly and upfront about stuff, and yeah. There's one gentleman who he couldn't even after he died, his work had to be gathered in secret, or the people gathering his work would have been executed because it was politically charged and like spoke out against the government and stuff.
What was going on in the 17th century?
Queen Elizabeth had just put out, was it the Elizabethan era still? Elizabethan
She
era?
died in 1616, or 1603. But, yes.
Well, James the First had just taken the throne, and Elizabeth didn't. The woman before him, Elizabeth I, didn't like Catholics because her older sister, was a Catholic, and imprisoned her in a tower for most of her most of her teenage life. So when she got on the throne, she said no to Catholics and abolished them and actually prosecuted them. And so Catholicism was outlawed in England during this time, and you couldn't talk out against anyone or anything, or you'd be in trouble.
There was no freedom of speech.
God bless America. They would have had to
Ready?
hang me by my toes. Went to bed.
You probably would burn at the stake as a witch. Just saying.
Sounds just bad.
Alright. So
Want to go out
we're
there?
gonna go back to the opening slides. And you all are going to annotate Holy Sonnet 10 and Wild Gardens Overlooked by Night Lights on why they are part of those two movements. Wild Gardens is part of the New York School, and Holy Sonnet 10 is part of the metaphysical movement. And another thing that will probably help you all with the New York School is a lot of them traveled they were travelers, so they traveled all over the world during this time. And were very multicultural.
So what are they doing with it? Just annotating it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Long enough poem, Jay?
You are annotating. And the other one. No. You're gonna get the other one in a few minutes. You're gonna get another one when you do something. What? You are annotating on why they are part of that. Yes, please. Put down which one's which.
Which one is which? Say it again.
Holy Sonnet 10 is the metaphysical movement, and Wild Gardens Overlooked by Night Lights is the New York School.
During your presentation.
No, I didn't.
Do you not have?
The second one I thought we got.
No, Wild Gardens, you all need Wild Gardens. Is anyone missing one of the two poems? No, it's
We have
not
an
there.
extra one though.
You're annotating, and you're annotating Holy Sun and walled gardens overlooked by night lights on why they're part of the student plans. Something that might help with Wild Gardens is when it talks about the Tale of Genji, the Tale of Genji is considered by some to be the world's first novel, and it's Japanese.
What do we call that? When we refer back to something.
Illusion.
Illusion. Very good, Akram. I heard you say it as I was continuing to talk. That is always good to bring up on your essays when you see elements of illusions.
much time do you think you all will need?
Class. About 2 minutes.
Alright, 2 or 3 more minutes for this.
Like literally, like I'm the only one that had it. And Rebecca, she's like basically. I don't know why I kicked.
Like I'll get tired of myself. Like it.
I'll sit here, I was like,
Alright.
I'll put the one on my head.
No, y'all did.
Alright, who wants to share? Anyone? Anyone? Alright, go.
I said in the Holy Sonnet, it spoke of like the spirituality. It says holy, so I was like, is that good? And then the end, and then the
Anybody else? Natia?
I think that
When is it? Hold on.
is asking for like their spirit to be restored.
I think I got organization and want to be.
And then it says, like you said, not. I don't know.
For our closer, you're going to pick between 2 poems. One of the poems is from the New York School movement and one is from the metaphysical movement. And based off of the Why Am I Not a Painter, that's from the New York School movement, and it's based off that picture, sardines. And you're just going to pick which one you like. And just basically tell us why you like the poem. What? This is based off of one of the. It's based off Why Am I Not a Painter.
Yeah, there's 2 poems to pick from. There's To His Boy Mistress, which is from the Metaphysical School, and Why I Am Not a Painter from the New York school. So just pick one and tell us why you like it. I'm about to pass them out.
Oh, yeah, okay. Why your poem so long? You don't have patience for this.
So you have to read both and explain which one you like and why?
Or pick one and which one.
Pick one and why. Pick one and why. Oh, Shanae. Oh, see.
Pick which ones that goes with that picture.
Hey, who that Emily Dickinson?
Why am I not a painter? Goes with it. And, which one we like the best. Pick one that you want to do. Why do you like it?
Look like
Damn it. Snowball.
shit.
Thank you.
Well, that's the title of it. It's abstract. Read that and you can figure out what it actually is.
Oh! Boy, that snuck up on us.
Look like we got homework.
No, sorry.
No homework.